In terms of the love that we know most, and most talked about, and many books are written about it, and the largest discussed thing in this world is relationships. So let's just take one relationship that is causing more angst than anything else, is a man-woman love. Tell me about the nature of that, and why does it cause that much angst? And is there a potential spiritual dimension to the nature of a man-woman love? We've talked about feminine, masculine, male, female. Is there something we can find in a marriage that takes it beyond the stresses and strains of an everyday practical marriage?
See, there is no such thing as man-dog love, man-woman love, man-mother love, man-son love, man-daughter love. There is no such thing. Love is just a certain sweetness of emotion. How you're arriving at it is the only question, isn't it? The method.
Yeah.
So the man-woman thing is a compulsive love affair. Nature is pushing you towards each other because nature is interested in only one thing, to perpetuating herself. If it somehow doesn't put a man-woman together, you and me wouldn't be here. So whether they love each other or not, that's not the question, they have to come together somehow, otherwise you and me wouldn't be born. So this is a compulsive need. This need is throwing people together to experience some sense of oneness. This is one love affair chemically supported by nature.
Okay.
All the other love affairs are not chemically supported by nature, it is just yours. But this is one love affair which is chemically supported by nature. For most of these love affairs, unfortunately, once the chemistry runs out, they wonder why the hell are they together. So before the chemistry runs out, you are supposed to establish a different level of conscious love affair, which is beyond the chemistry. If that doesn't happen, it turns ugly.
So what is that love affair that is a conscious love affair? Let's talk about that. And let's take it further. Is there a potential spiritual dimension to it? I'm not saying there has to be. Is there a potentially? But let's first say, when the chemicals don't react anymore, what reacts? What works? What makes it work?
See, chemistry is of the body,
Yeah.
okay? The bodily chemistry plays up certain things according to its needs. The moment the need is satisfied, you wonder why the hell are you here,
Yeah.
okay? So that is a very different kind of thing. That is nature's trick. You are… like you are 10, 11 years of age, the world was everything fine with it. Suddenly, your intelligence got hijacked by your hormones, suddenly the whole world looks different, all of a sudden. So all that's happened is, your intelligence got hijacked by the hormones. The chemistry has hijacked you. Very few individuals have the necessary awareness to look beyond that at life. Everybody else get flooded by this process. By the time they recover, usually it's too late. Not necessarily. So is it something wrong or right? There's nothing wrong or right, it's just limited, that's all. Is being limited a crime? No. But the nature of the human being is such, he suffers limitations. He doesn't like it. So a relationship, when you see a man and a woman, you're talking about a relationship. Because there are other aspects to it. There may be a social angle to it, there may be a physical angle to it, there may be a psychological angle to it, there may be an economic angle to it. The variety of other things to fulfill in a relationship. We form relationships with variety of people in our lives. You have business relationships, you have personal relationships, you have professional relationships. So, relationships we form basically to fulfill different types of needs or to fulfill somebody else's needs, whichever way it is. That is a relationship. But what you refer to as love is just the sweetness of your emotion. You can use another person to stimulate that within you, or you can be on self-start mechanism.
So, but it's possible for two people together, if they've been together beyond the chemistry or the chemical or the hormones, to be starters for each other and continue that relationship. I mean, do you see value in that? Do you see value in people staying together for so long in a marriage? beyond duty, beyond say, okay, we have children, we have to do it together, society
See,
expects
there
us
is a
to.
certain beauty for two human beings to weave their lives as one. There is a certain sense of… See, if you have to really be with somebody, you have to give up a part of yourself in some way. So the English expression falling in love is very significant. You can only fall into it. You can't stand in it, you can't climb in it, you have to fall into it. Falling means some part of you has to go
Yeah.
to accommodate another, which is a good thing for a human being to do, that doesn't think too much of himself. One who thinks too much of himself cannot be in a love affair.
Yeah.
Somewhere you have to surrender a part of yourself to be in a love affair. In that sense, it's a very beautiful thing.
But in this weaving, as you called it, is it possible for you to be with another person that becomes, and I'm just guessing here, that becomes the conduit towards your own self-realization? Is that a possibility? Could that be a basis of relationship?
It is definitely a possibility, but it's a risky possibility.
Okay, I understand that, right.
You may just get entangled and lost in so many complexities of a relationship rather than finding the ultimate nature. I'm not saying it's not possible, it's very much possible. So that is why in India, when we got people married, we tied what's called as a Mangal Sutra. Today it's just a thread, a ritualistic thread. But that's not how it originally started. There is a way of taking a strand of energy from you and your partner and tying it up in a certain way, so that beyond your logic, beyond your understanding, beyond your psychological, emotional and physical needs, somewhere deep inside two beings are tied together, two lives are tied together. So, a lot of people cannot understand how these two people are together, because nothing seems to be common in them, but still they're like one, because on another level they're tied up. This can happen because of the physical proximity and the intimacy of the whole relationship, but even before you start it, we have a whole technology as to how to tie up two lives together. So we always said that this is a lifelong thing, you cannot break it. If you break it, you have to tear two lives apart, because it was not just an arrangement, it was a kind of a union. If you listen to all the mantras chanted in the weddings, they're always talking about this, how these two beings are being welded together, okay? So anyway, you come from Bollywood, and there was a time 30 years ago, 25 years ago, every song was talking Janam, Janam, Janam. Now they're talking expiry date.
Okay.
So the whole context of relationships have changed, which I feel is sad, because the profoundness of being with another being has been lost in this. In the name of freedom, in the name of choice, actually you're becoming horribly compulsive. It's all about yourself. When it's all about yourself, you will not know the beauty of life. So these marriages, which were done in a certain way, was never about you, it was always about the other person. Both the people, if they think like this, it's about the other person, it's a beautiful place to be. If only one person thinks like that, it becomes exploitation. If both the persons don't think like that, it's just a compulsive relationship. Me trying to extract something from you, you trying to extract something from me, it's a conflict situation all the time.